I'm Jancy Huval, a teacher at Cecilia Junior High in St. Martin Parish. As an educator, something I'm passionate about is adapting to educational trends. The students in this video are 7th graders in an ELA class. The curriculum being used is guidebooks, specifically Section 1, Lesson 1, Activity 8 of Restart. The objective is to rewrite a narrative in an alternate point of view. Prior to this lesson, the students read 7th grade by Gary Soto in a whole class setting and completed activities 1 through 7. Today, they'll be rereading it in groups. The overall goal is for students to be able to write a narrative. They have a lot of practice writing essays, and narrative is a bit newer for them. This class is made up of both regular ed and special ed students. There is a student with some vision issues, as well as a student who attends speech once weekly. Some adaptations that I've made is made sure that each group had a strong leader. There are a couple students who may not feel comfortable reading even in a small group setting, and the other kids know that that's okay, and they will be good classmates to them.
I picked up a few things from the movies and books and stuff like that. They left it right. Teresa asked him if he would help her with friends.
Sure, it's on
Bonjour, Teresa said.
Teachers and students, just a friendly reminder, students, bus 414. 414 is still on a bus buddy to further notice.
She smiled and pushed whips from her hair.
Yeah, right. He turned and headed to his class. The road was uncertain. On their face became bulkheads from light. Teresa is a great girl, he thought, and Mr. Bueller is a good guy.
Alright, are all the groups finished reading?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a cute story?
Yes, it is.
Was your first day of 7th grade anything like this?
No. I walked into class, into homeroom, and then I'm like, oh, I got the best teacher ever.
You didn't impress a girl by faking that you knew French? Okay, here are your directions. This is at the bottom of Restart Lesson 1 in Google Classroom. It says, rewrite one of the following passages from 7th grade from either Michael's or Teresa's first person point of view. Question, raise your hand. What point of view did Gary Soto write this story in? There's 3 options. You might remember them from the context video. Braden Jones, what you think?
First person,
Okay.
third person, omniscient,
Omniscient.
and third person, limited.
Okay, those are the 3 options. What is this written in currently?
First person? No, third person.
Which one?
The one with the old.
Yes. Is that what you were going to say? Okay, this is third person omniscient. And we know that for a couple of reasons. One, we know what Victor, the main character, is thinking.
right? And we also know what Mr. Bueller is thinking. At the end of the story, we got some thoughts as to what was going on in his head. Okay, so we're switching from third person omniscient to first person. So now the story will say I and me and my and our and we and us, okay? Be sure to keep in mind the development of these characters and make sure to accurately reflect their tone and points of view in the rewritten narrative. So you don't have to act very hard because you are becoming a 7th grade boy or a 7th grade girl. And you already are a 7th grade girl or boy, okay? So what would that person sound like saying this story on their first day of school? The vibes I get from Michael is that he's kind of confident. He thinks he can get the girls. So what would that sound like? Teresa seems like a sweet little 7th grade girl. What would she sound like? If you choose Michael, you're starting at paragraph 3. They shook hands and ending at paragraph 5. Belinda Reyes walked by a while ago and looked at me. You should have that marked already. Or, Isai, y'all be quiet. If you choose Teresa, start at paragraph 51. The bell sounded and end at 59. Teresa's a great girl. You should already have that marked. Okay, ready to start?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do it.
Yo, what happened to the car?
It unplugged. That's okay. Keep going. So you went from like the start to the end. So what about the parts in the middle? So why don't you leave some of this dialogue? How come you're making a face? I ain't making a face. This is my face. And then talk about where did you get this idea from this magazine you found in your brother's room. So mention some of this, but make it sound like a 7th grade boy's telling it, not like Gary Soto, the third person omniscient author. Okay? Yeah. You're rewriting. So do you want to be Teresa or you want to be Michael? Okay, so you're gonna choose the first chunk. So it starts on paragraph 3. She shook hands Rosa style, and you're covering 3, 4, and 5. So you're just retelling those 3 paragraphs, but from Michael's point of view instead of the author who's an outsider. Okay? You understand? You want to be Michael or Teresa? Okay, so you're gonna start, yes, right here. So you can just retype it. The bell sounded for 5th period, and Victor, maybe instead of shot out, you could say left quickly or something. What would a girl say? Left the room, and then you could just put period. You don't really need someone in the stairs at the other kids. And then you could say he came back in looking for his math book. He looked at the teacher. He looked at me, because you're Teresa now. So wherever it says Teresa, that's you. Okay, so start right there, rewrite. Are you Michael or are you Teresa? Okay, so let's flip to page up. So you're gonna start right here. Paragraph 3, 4, and 5. Come in groups. And you're gonna retell it as Michael. You are Michael. You're not Canaan anymore. Okay, so instead of they shook hands, what would you change they to? With Victor. Yes. So you're shaking hands with Victor. So you could either say that we shook hands, or you could say I shook hands with Victor Rosa style. Or if you don't want to put Rosa style, you don't have to. Okay? Yes, that looks good. But are you in the magazine with the models? No. So that's not a week. That stays a thing. Because I'm talking about the models in the magazine. It's alright. Let me go to Bruce first because he has his hand up. Great. Yes.
100 hall. Get to your classes now.
We're gonna start with a paragraph right here. We're gonna start a paragraph here because someone's talking. And then, are you answering right here? I ain't making a face essay. This is my face. That's a different person, right? So we're gonna start a new paragraph. Should there be quotes around that? Okay, so put it. I ain't making a face essay. This is my face. Michael, my face I changed. That don't sound like it. You put Michael told me, or I told. No, you're Michael. So you're not gonna write Michael. I said. I answered. Are you in the magazine? Okay, so then you're not saying we would stand one arm around the beautiful woman at Scout, because you're talking about the models in the magazine. So change that we back to it, because you're talking about somebody that is.
Were the lesson objectives met? I say for the most part they were. The kids really did a good job assuming the character of Michael or Teresa and writing from that perspective. That was the main thing I was hoping they would accomplish by understanding the directions, and that they didn't sound like the author anymore. They sounded like the kid telling the story. So also more than just changing the pronouns from they to we, from Michael to I, or Teresa to I, but to try to become that character. And what would that 7th grade boy or girl sound like? I know this because I went through their Google Classrooms and scrolled down to see if they followed the directions. What would I do differently next time? Not a whole lot. I think this went well. This is actually the first time I've taught Restart and this lesson specifically. So I think that it went well. I would maybe consider doing partners instead of groups, just because they didn't really need to be in a giant group once the writing got started. I do feel it's better to be a partner than individual, just to bounce ideas off one another, and letting them maybe even choose a friend to work with so they are in their comfort zone and not next to someone that they don't really speak to, can be kind of shy. What happened after the video stopped? So I asked for volunteers to let me put their paper on the big screen in front and critique it in front of everybody. And I think a lot of growth takes place in that time period. So I have them, stop typing and listen to some good examples that I had chosen from a previous hour, a good Michael example, a good Teresa example, and then I let them, and some of them were still a work in progress, but can I put yours up and let's critique it? And I gave feedback, and then I also asked them to give their classmates feedback. What did you notice? What could this person do to improve their paper? I think the lesson was overall successful. I did enjoy the story. I think that the kids really enjoyed it because it's relatable. They're in 7th grade. It's called 7th grade, even though their first day of 7th grade wasn't quite the same. It was a relatable story that I think they enjoyed. And I hope that there is more opportunities to practice narrative writing in this unit. As it's new and I'm still learning it, we shall see. But so far, so good.